What's up, world? We are live. We are here for a episode of a new show called Not to Cut You Off. We've been talking about doing a music thing on InCrowd for a minute because it was a missing part of what we're doing compared to Juxtapose and InCrowd reviews and rap. We have all these wonderful content, but no music focused ones. So this is what we're here to do today. I have a bunch of guests, and we're just gonna get into it. First, I have MVP. You know him. You've seen him. I don't got no introduction needed.
Yeah.
We have 21 Keys. He's been on our podcast for Juxtapose. All that. And we have Live, who's also been, on our Juxtapose podcast. But a bunch of people with a bunch of different opinions. And today we're going to discuss the Kendrick and Drake. How about to say J. Cole? The Kendrick and J. Cole. Wow, I said it again. The Kendrick and Drake beef. Because really, Drake is out here like Thanos and everybody's trying to take him down. But I don't know what's going to happen. So I guess we'll jump right in to what do you think about the beef currently? Like everybody, just give your opinion. Whoever want to start.
I think these dudes are playing games, man. Like, see, we come from a different era where beef was beef. Like, you're going back to back records. 48 hours didn't go past without a record being dropped, right? You was going straight to the radio station. The DJs was involved. But I think it's different now. Podcasts and YouTube is where it's at. So that's where the beef lives.
Yeah, I was gonna say that 21 Keys, yeah, like with the social media, YouTube and everything, the beef has changed. I'm thinking that it's gotten kind of corny, and we're gonna dive into it. But the AI stuff, bro, I have no tolerance for it. It's taken away from the experience. I don't normally experience beef this way, and I'm gonna kick it off to Live.
I'm from a different era. You know what I'm saying? We grew up where you had to have a response right away, or at least within 48 hours, something got to be said. But I do enjoy. We transitioned from just making records to the memes and the trolling. So I enjoy what a diss record like encompasses now. If you actively on social media. So for some of these artists, like the Rick Ross thing, and how it's not just a record. It's like I'm gonna keep trolling you for days. So I appreciate that about this era. So I will say that much.
It is interesting, I would say, for myself, because it's weird when you're used to, when you are from the era of like, I expect a response, and the response is you went and you chose a beat and you penned some stuff and you put it out there and it hit hard. Like,
Facts.
That's what I'm expecting. So, like the Rick Ross stuff, it's funny, but then after a while you're like, all right, bro. Like it feels like you're using the 50 Cent model and you already know you and him ain't good. So, like do something different. But I guess it is what it is. So I guess we're starting off. Oh, go ahead.
I want to start off at the beginning because I haven't talked to Live or 21 Keys, so I got a lot of opinions from the beginning when Kendrick dropped his verse. What were y'all doing? Where were y'all at? Like were y'all in the driving? Were you in the streets? Were you like at home? Like when that verse dropped on like that, where was you at? I just gotta know.
I woke up, bro, and I was like, I usually go on YouTube, and I saw it going crazy. So I listened to it, and I was like, damn, Kendrick came bombing, but I'm not surprised because he did the same thing on the other record, right?
On Control, yeah.
Right, and I'm saying, so, and then even on the BET Cypher, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right, so it's like Kendrick, he been coming like that. It's nothing new. So I was surprised it was Future and Metro Boomin because I thought Future and Drake was good.
Yeah.
True. Where was you at, Live?
I don't remember exactly where I was at, but like I said, I second that. I didn't know my first listen. I didn't know Future, would be hosting somebody that was dissing Drake. This before I guess everybody knew they was kind of beefing, so it was weird to me to have a dude on your record that was dissing Drake, and I thought y'all was cool. But once, later on everybody started talking about they not cool or him and Metro got a beef, then it kind of made sense. But the first listen on the record, I thought it was normal. I I mean, I of course it amps you up. The situation gets amped up, and it amps you up to listen to it. But I didn't think much of it because that's like you said, that's what Kendrick does. You know what I mean? It's part of his formula. He disappears for a while,
100%.
and he come out of nowhere, and he on somebody's head top. So
Out of
what's your
nowhere, dog.
yeah?
Yeah.
You know what? Kendrick is like that dude that go to jail for like 3-4 years, and you kind of forget about him. And as soon as you come on first day, he punched the biggest nigga in the face
Yeah.
on the block. Like, here, what
It's
nigga, I'm
my
back.
block.
What's up?
It's my
Yeah.
block, nigga. Yeah, that's a fact.
And it's but the thing for me that is crazy is like the fact that he was on with Future and Metro, like that also caught me off guard. But then it was like he really was going at Drake, but everyone felt like he was also going at Cole. So
Yes.
what was your thoughts on the whole Cole part and then his subsequent retraction?
I was at work, and I told my man, I said, it'll be funny if somebody made a whole mixtape just dissing one person, right? And then that Friday came, and then Cole had the mixtape. And even though every song wasn't, he said like little shots here and there, but it was very, very, very ironic. But to see him to be a student of the game, he let Nas down, bro.
Oh my God. Okay.
He
Everybody
let
keeps
Nas
saying
down.
that.
He let Hove down. He let Beans down. Jadakiss
Yeah,
down. I mean, he let a lot of people down.
That's rough. What's your thoughts?
Just hold on,
What's
just
your
real
thoughts?
quick.
Yeah.
Just real quick. Didn't J. Cole, isn't that his quote? He let Nas down?
Yeah, that's his song.
So y'all are using his quote against him. You can't. He's the one who admitted it. That's like getting in a beef, like getting in an argument with like your girl or something, and then like 3 years later she bring back up something that she already forgave you for. Like you can't bring back up his quote and use it
Why
against him.
not?
This is hip hop, bro.
I keep hearing Nas let him. You let Nas down. You let Nas down.
This is hip hop, bro. It's part of the sport.
Damn.
It's called a rebuttal.
I'm gonna let you guys go, and then I have very strong opinions. I've been told I'm very biased to J. Cole, so I'm gonna admit that before I say what I have to say. But what are your thoughts, Live?
This is a prime example of jumping out the window with no goddamn parachute. That's what that is to me. So
You're like, oh, never mind.
I didn't think the Kendrick diss track was like scathing the Cole or some shit. Like, all right, yeah, he did say fuck the big three, it's just big me. I get that. But for J. Cole to go and do a whole diss track when that record was clearly directed at Drake, I didn't get it. I'm like, yo, like, are you watching DJ Academics, nigga? Like, you letting niggas gas you up to go jump out the
but-
window?
100%.
He did say something about dudes linking up in First Shooter. This is what I was saying to Styles.
I agree. I mean, but you gotta understand, like, it's a difference between catching strays and then catching fragments. Like, it wasn't like he was catching strays. It was like, okay, you saying a little here and there, but it's not something that warrants a whole fucking diss record. Like, so even when he did it, I enjoyed the diss record. I thought it was cool. The double back and the apology, that shit was whack, bro. I'm sorry. Like, I just felt like if you put something out, just stand on it. Even if you got a call behind the scenes and y'all just like, yo, it's just friendly rap shit. But now that I think about it, I think, I seen a meme and it was like, yo, niggas told J. Cole, niggas about to start shooting, it's time to go inside. So maybe he knew what was coming and niggas told his ass, get back in the house, bro. A lot of other shit. That
Get
ain't
back on the
it.
sidewalk. Get back on the sidewalk.
Facts.
Yeah, that's literally what it sounds like right now. So,
And then again, you got to keep in mind, right? Like J. Cole is actively touring, right? And he got to hit LA. He got to hit the West Coast, period. And niggas in the West Coast, they will move on someone else's accord without them even asking. You know what I mean?
True.
So you gotta be smart how you playing it. Yeah, it's beef. I mean, it's like a little rap beef, little, just words. But some people take words beyond words. You know what I mean? So you gotta think about that too.
He said it during his little speech on stage about him being able to get sleep.
his little speech.
Yeah, he was like, I've been able to sleep comfortably for 10 years, and I don't want to, So maybe he knew something we don't know. One thing about it is, as much as we encourage this shit as far as beef and we enjoy it, there's another side to it. You know what I mean? These are some people. This is their money, man. It's how they make a living, and you fucking with feeding their family. So I get it. It go both ways. But don't drop a diss record and then fucking apologize. Fuck that.
So I'm gonna jump in because the thing is, the thing for me that I kept telling people, and the argument I keep having, which I know everybody's gonna tell me I'm off the range, but whatever. These dudes were boys, right? Like Kendrick, there was always this rumored collaboration tape between Kendrick and J. Cole, and we probably get it as soon as we get, the next Dre album, but we're not gonna talk about that. Like literally, we've been waiting for this forever. So like they're cool. So when I heard him respond, it felt like he, like you said, like who gassed him up? Like, yo, you gonna let him say something and you're not gonna say nothing? It's like, especially because of the big 3 line that he said, but truthfully, everything on that disc, because I listened to it again right before this, that was all at Drake. That was all at Drake, bro. Mm-hmm. It was that whole verse was about Drake. It just so happened that, Cole was a part of that. And as far as his taking it back, I feel like, it felt like he didn't give his all. Like you listen to records that he did with like Benny the Butcher and the other records he did with multiple artists, you're like, oh man, he's in fine form. And then when we heard the beef, it was like he wasn't 100% in it. It felt like to me. So I don't know. To me, I feel like he probably regretted that, and he could tell it in the record. He did it because everybody said something, and he's like, "Nah, that's not it." So I can understand why he took it back, but from a rap standpoint, yeah, it is not kind of like how we do things, So,
but I'll say this, man. Right? When I heard that Benny the Butcher and Cole song, I listened to that shit for a week straight, bro. Repeatedly, bro. Back to back. Because I'm like, this nigga just obliterated everybody without even trying, right? So if he had approached that track towards Kendrick the same way he approached that track with Benny the Butcher, I don't think we'd be having the same conversation. I think the conversation would be different. The conversation would be like, damn, what is Kendrick gonna do? Because this nigga just
now it's everything, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think, but also too, he doesn't. I feel like there is this story there of people aligning with Drake or against Drake, and if by joining and attacking Kendrick seriously, he would have been aligning with Drake. And the bullets coming for Drake right now, you kind of don't want to be a part of that unless you're really about it.
Because see, here's the thing, right? The one thing that you don't do in the streets is fuck with a nigga money or his bitch. Right?
That's usually when the beef is over.
Drake been fucking a lot of these niggas' bitches.
Yes, he has.
Their favorite, listen, they're crushes from way back when to up to now. He's been in their guts like it's nothing, right? So I could see why they want to get him out of here. I can see why they want to get Drake. Drake has seamlessly been doing his thing without any major hiccups for the past 15 years nonstop. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I can see why they wanted to get him out of here. He's richer than most of these guys. I mean, you just name it. Like from OVO Fest to, and remember, he represents not a state. He represents a country.
Another country, yeah.
Right? That's a whole different ball game. So I think me personally, this is my little conspiracy theory behind it. The whole FBA ADOS thing, I think I got something to do with them going at Drake. To be honest with you, that's just my take on it.
What's FBA?
Foundational Black Americans.
You're going deep with this. What? I never heard this.
I said that's my personal take on it.
Okay.
So
you want to elaborate more? Or you good? Like,
hold on.
Okay.
Not to cut you off. Not to cut you off.
Okay.
Not to cut you off because I don't want to move away from that topic yet. So with going back to the Cole thing and him addressing the diss from Kendrick. I'm in the belief of I don't care what beef you got with somebody else. Don't name the song I got with him. Don't talk about us linking up. I'm the one who mentioned the big 3. So I'm trying to figure out how this is not directed to me when you've already mentioned 3 things pertaining to me. And they can say, hey, it's for Drake. Hey, when you diss Drake, don't bring my name in it if we mans. If you my mans, don't bring me in it because now I'm going to, and you my man, so I'm going to diss you back because you knew that I linked up with Drake. Hey, niggas linking up now. You talking about me? Or am I tripping?
No, you're right.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hey, big 3. Who said that? I did. Nah. Fuck the big 3. That sounds like you saying fuck MVP if I'm the one who said that quote then. And I'm like, oh, I thought you was my man. We could have had a conversation. Do you not think it's a big 3? So I'm trying to understand how this is not directed to Cole. And then he did jump out there with his mans and he didn't give his all. I will agree with y'all on that, right? And I also agree that it was corny for him to retract it, and the speed that he retracted with was just crazy, right? But I do believe Cole had to respond, because you can't mention a song with me and this other dude. He got all these other songs, but you know I'm on it and you supposed to be my mans. I got to jump out the window and address you.
Nah.
I do respect that part with J. Cole.
I think there's a part of this that is music business, right? Like, I think there's a part of this where it's like, oh, I'm going to respond because of that, but this is not like this is not beef, which is why I think, to everybody's point, I'm going to take it back, because I realized, wait, hold on. I didn't really realize how serious this was. This is some real shit, and I don't want to be a part of it. Like, you know, even bigger than like everything that could happen potentially outside of the street. I think just like they put a hit out on Diddy, I feel like Drake is next. Not federal, but like people are trying to get.
They put a hit out on Diddy?
Oh yeah, somebody put a hit on Diddy. The level they're getting rid of Diddy, somebody put a hit on Diddy.
Oh, that's what you mean. Okay, okay.
I'm just saying, like,
that's another conversation.
It's another conversation for another time. So, okay, well, I have a question then, because I've been saying for a while that it feels like all of these people sat down and had a decision that hip hop for the last year or so went from the top one the top genre to literally not even having number one singles for like 2 years straight, right? Number one albums. So is it possible that they all sat down and said, hey, we gotta, let's put it together. Let's turn this thing up, right? Because if there's beef, it's like war, right? Unfortunately, when there's war, people make money, right? So
true.
Is it possible that this whole thing could have been concocted in order to just make it interesting?
There's the strong possibility, because like K Styles was saying, hip hop has not been the number one genre, even though I think consecutively for almost 10 years we've been running the board. So hip hop has not been the number one genre in the last 2-3 years. We haven't seen a lot of number one singles. We haven't seen a lot of album sales. So what better way to get things started by getting the biggest artist in the game right now to beef with people? It increases their record sales. I mean, no matter what you got to say about Kendrick and that this, like, it's been number one for a minute now. They that shit is rocking strong. So to me, that could be a very strong possibility. You think about how many people are beefing right now. You had the fucking Chris Brown and Quavo shit that came.
Yeah, like what?
Bro, y'all beefing about Karuchi. That was years ago. So it's like everybody's kind of eating up for this attention. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
Even fucking Kanye's jumping in out of nowhere. So that could be a possibility. Could be a strong possibility.
If you don't get him out of here, bro. Get the fuck out of here, Kanye. Man, get some better grills in your mouth, man. He got the black and silver grills. Like, come on, bro, man.
Yeah, here's the thing. The Kanye thing
Pants too baggy. I'm about to fry him up.
Kanye is one of those people that will do anything just to be the first person to do it. So when he came out here with the rubber boots that you go freaking on the farm with, and he was walking the streets, people were talking stuff. When he was out in Italy with his ass out barefoot, like Kanye he wants to be the first. And I'm like, I don't know what else
he wants to be the attention. He wants to be the attention.
I know Kanye's feet was stink than a motherfucker though, wearing them goddamn hot ass rain boots 7 days a week. I don't go fuck.
Yo, bro.
I think we confuse some things too. I just want to speak on this. Like, let's be honest with ourselves as hip hop fans. Kanye is 40 plus, bro. We working on getting the 50 number with him. So I think some of the stuff he does isn't as well thought out as we think it is. I think that when you get to a certain age, you kind of lose touch and focus of what's popular and what's hot. And I think most of the time he's trying to figure himself out. And we're just watching a 40-something-year-old man in a young man's sport try to figure himself out. That's just my opinion. And I see that a lot with him.
I disagree. I disagree for one reason. I'll let you go. I disagree when it comes to certain things, because like what he has been able to do from the fashion, like the sneaker realm and everything like that, has people imitating it so much. I think what he does is he has success with one thing, and then he just thinks he could do whatever, and then you see it, you're like, okay, that one wasn't it. That's my thought. I mean, I don't necessarily think it's just about the age. I do think he's slightly out of touch, but like when you get to that level of access and money, it's unless you have a really close group of people around you to be real with you, you're gonna end up in that category. It's like, we could use multiple examples of that.
But see, not to cut you off, but this is what I'm saying about Kanye. Like, I don't know, everybody got their own opinion and views of this, but the grills in the mouth. I mean, I hear these people say he's a genius, he's a genius, Yo, just because you talk a lot does not make you smart, bro. Does not make you intelligent. Let's be real, bro. Like, what Hov say? Just because you don't understand him, it don't mean that he bright. Like, a nigga could confuse you in a conversation, and you be like, damn, this nigga. And he wasn't
He
saying
deep.
shit, bro, at all.
He
So
deep.
a lot of times when I listen to Kanye, that's what I get. I come out of that with more questions than I walked into it with. And then let's be real, bro. Like, listen, this motherfucker sold a STEM player. You feel me? Like, we back in 1996, like, or fucking
This
an
dude
MP3
wild.
player. Like, it's not like it's innovative. I don't like we give the genius title out a lot. I feel
That
like
didn't
he's
take though.
reaching. I think we need to
He
acknowledge there's a
probably,
reach going on.
yeah. I do want to say I do think that there was the STEM player thing was it did kind of lead the culture a little bit for one reason. Right after that, then you had Serato and all these other DJ things integrating. So I think there were a couple of places that had this technology beginning because like virtual DJ has had the STEM things forever. But then like not too far after that STEM player, then we have stems now in Serato. So from a DJ standpoint, you literally can take that and mix it together. That's all I do sometimes, right? So in stems in Logic, yeah. So I think that he saw a trend that was about to happen, and he hopped on it early. It just wasn't executed well because nobody was paying $400 for that. I'm sorry, I'm not. But I think that he started to realize at that point that he had to start doing more stuff by himself because he comes from the era where it's like in order to make some of the big things happen, you had to go out and get the big checks from the big labels, and that's why remember when he was complaining about the fashion stuff, he's like, "Oh, you guys don't know. I did the research. You have to get these people to sign off," and like you really don't anymore, right? Like we have the internet and the internet action. There's a lot of people that are starting from nothing and building it. So there's that. I don't know how we ended up going in on Kanye this long, but yeah, Kanye. Every time you bring up Kanye, it's just generally it's full of just like, oh my god, bro,
You can do a
like,
whole
chill.
fucking 2-episode series
Just
about
on Kanye.
just Kanye. So yeah,
I do think, like I said, I do think that he is. I think he is innovative in some things. I do think, like to your point, he's reaching. I do think he reaches a lot,
Thank you.
and sometimes, but if he didn't reach, we wouldn't even know, right? Like so, like I think it's necessary.
but that's the cap of Kanye also because just because you put fucking holes in a shirt, like it does not make it
I
unique, bro.
mean,
It's, like I don't know. I just
if
see
you
it a
if
different way, bro. I want to say this and then I'll leave it off. But one thing I respect about Kanye musically, like you can't fuck with him. I don't give a fuck what it is. Putting the way he puts tracks together, the way he puts artists together, the way his songs are not just like a beat from a producer. He orchestrates that bitch. You know what I mean? Like the beat
yeah.
may change midway through. So he definitely has a genius ear for music. On the business side, I don't really jack it. I see
I
a
don't
lot
know.
of reaching.
But I'm saying, especially what he did with the sneakers, I feel like you got to give him that. You got to give him that, bro. You got to give him that part. He kept Adidas. He kept Adidas alive. Okay, all right.
Like Adidas been around. Y'all keep saying he saved it. Adidas has found ways to come back. People are saying it like Adidas is about to disappear.
Yeah.
It's never going nowhere. It's
The thing I
Adidas.
did see Kanye do as far as this industry goes, he taught a lot of these big name brands how to sell pieces of shit for high price. Like I noticed, let's be real, bro. Like listen, he takes so for example, Yeezy foam runners, right? It's cheaper to manufacture because you're just getting one piece of foam, right? And you don't need the straps, you don't need the laces, you don't need any of that. And then he upcharges. So what you see is a trend of like I don't want to. I think it's Balenciaga or Louis V. Don't quote me on this, but they got like a takeout bag, that looks like a Chinese takeout bag that they selling now. So now companies are more willing to sell you shit with less material, less high quality material for a higher price because, like I said, Kanye showed them, you got the t-shirts with the holes in them. You got even the Yeezy Boost or the Yeezy the Wave Runners or whatever the fuck. This is like one piece of material, two pieces of material. It doesn't cost a lot of money to make, but he's upcharging and selling it for a higher price. So you'll see a lot of companies after that manufacturing fucking socks with rubber at the bottom of them and telling you they're $800, when before you were getting genuine leather or some other shit for that price. So
But is that not genius level effort then? I just say I feel like we do have, yes, I'll give it definitely innovative, and I think that there is a lot to be said about the things he has accomplished, but they also are things that you're like, yo, what like why did you do this? Like just stop talking, Kanye. But like anyway, we went super long on Kanye. This is not the point of this. It was literally one blip in this. So my other question is, we keep hearing now that because J. Cole has taken down his beef, right, his diss track, he's no longer potentially considered in the big three. What are your thoughts?
False.
But a lot of people said his music is not. You're like, a lot of people say his music is not for everybody. It's not.
So what are you talking about? Like J. Cole, and I'm gonna say Drake too, have the ability to not talk about drilling all the time and talk about some other stuff and make it sound cool. We got a bunch of people. Like I just listened to this whole We Don't Trust You Metro Boomin and Future. Man, Future not even trying. He not even rhyming the words anymore. This dude literally on the track saying lean, bitches, hoes. Like that was the bar. Drink pills. And I'm like,
yeah,
the beat sound fire though. The tone is fucking delicious. The tone is great. But you ain't saying shit, bro. And I'm starting to get tired of these people. Dude, I'm listening. I listened to it all day while I was cleaning up, man. And I'm like, yo, this sounds good, but you are not even putting anything into the pen.
Future's in a quiet taste anyway. Like you gotta understand, most of the younger generation, they in the club, they popping bottles, niggas just scam their way up to the top for the week. Like it's just a bunch of ignorant shit, bro. Like if I say bitches lean Molly back to back to back, like that's what they vibe. It's just vibe music. It's nothing other than that. Cause really he not really
Where
saying
we
shit
go.
on the song. Future, he surprises you though. Once in a while he'll have a song on the track with some substance, but other than that, that's what his lane is. I don't particularly like it. But hey, everybody ain't for everything ain't for everybody.
So someone gonna have the audacity to say, hey, we taking J. Cole out. This is why I'm getting to this point. We're gonna take J. Cole out of the big three and put Future there.
There's no way you could put Future at the top of this. Like, come on.
I was like, come on, bro. Y'all getting out of hand now. People are recommending Big Sean, but Big Sean dropped the ball.
Damn. Honestly, I'll put Big Crit in there before we talk about freaking Big Sean.
Crit got bars.
Hold on.
Exactly. Big Crit is way better than Big Sean is.
No, it's not.
Anyway, what's
I don't
up,
know
Scope?
about that.
No, it's not.
I don't know about better than Big Sean.
Are you never listened to Big Crit then? Clearly.
First,
I literally just said Big Crit has bars.
Big
Literal bars.
What name me
like he's saying stuff.
Name me one of the greatest songs you've heard from Big Sean.
Greatest songs from Big Sean?
The best song that you could think of as a reference from Big Sean.
I don't know.
Okay, that's my point. Anyway, moving on.
I can't name you the best song from Big Crit or Drake or none of them people. I just like what I like.
Okay, but you think Big Sean is better than Big Crit?
Yeah, I do.
first of all, lyric. It takes Big Sean longer to craft what he does than anyone else. So the quality of his verses, I put it up against anybody. But yeah, song wise, I'm not sure if he has a discography like that. And as far as J. Cole, I think the top three really just symbolizes the guys who don't have to do promo. All those guys could drop in the middle of the night and do 150 units. J. Cole, Kendrick, and Drake. And Big Sean used to be part of that group. And Wale used to be a part of that group. That whole clash right there, they were known for having such a loyal fan base and a reach. They didn't have to do the regular rap politics. So that's why I think, Drake used to give props and J. Cole used to give props to his big three idea. Because after the Control verse, like if you were on the right, it was like the Thanos snap after the Control verse. If you survived after that,
and you're still here, it's pretty amazing. And half those guys are not here anymore
I think you got
from the
my
control
Makes
bad.
sense.
verse.
Not to cut you off. I think you got people who listen to lyricism, people who listen to, you gauge good music however you gauge good music, because some people like Future and that's in a top, whatever the fuck. But I think in the history of hip hop, the spitters have always been at the top. People who pen shit as though like they get the most of the money and the tours and the accolades that go along with that. And that's been in any
Yeah.
generation you could think of. The Jay-Z, the Nas, the Biggie, the Tupacs, like these people who actually, write. So I see why people put J. Cole in that category.
Yeah.
If that's your big three, great, more power to you. But I don't think you have much of a selection anymore. Let's be honest with you. Like, it's not like you got much to choose from. Yeah, so
That's true.
Who else is there really?
I just,
That's
I'm
another
sorry.
thing.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that part, because I do think that like it is, that has been the thing. And I think Scope gave a different point of view too, because like that the ability of those people to move records is that does make sense. But I don't know. It's just weird to me to have people say that they'll remove him from that, especially if you like what 21 Keys was saying, like the body of work that even in the last year or two, where every verse this man has been on has been this pure flames,
Fire.
bro. Like he's flamed out every single like. So it's weird for people to be like, oh nah, he's not up there anymore. It's just weird to me. But
Bro, listen.
Yeah, because I'm like both. Hold on, Scope. Not to cut you off, but two things can be true, right? One, I think he's corny for bringing back the apology. Like we established that. That's fine. But that doesn't mean that now he's not a big three.
Yeah.
He's not in that conversation. That's the part that I'm like, yo, y'all got to stop it, because like Live was saying, who else you got? Who's popping? Like Kanye ain't it. Sorry.
Kanye is not a big three, no.
That's what I'm saying. I'm sorry, he's not it. So, and then like I think when you go to like the Jay-Z's and the Waynes, they just such a legacy act. I think,
and they had
in
their
a different
time and their
category.
generation too. Everybody
So-
had their time. Yeah,
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, and I think this is Kendrick's, J. Cole's, and Drake's time.
Well, you know what's odd? I feel like their time has technically been over, but because no one's
you
been
go.
there to replace them, it's just continued on longer than it's supposed to. Because theoretically, you get like a 3 or 4 year run, and then you start seeing them kind of fade, and you might get 1 or 2 records from them to keep it going. But the fact that we're still talking about Kendrick and J. Cole and Drake as the big ones now is just like, it's kind of wild, bro. Like, what class was that? Wasn't that 2008?
That was a good Source magazine class right there.
Bro,
Whatever
I'm saying that
class
was
it
a
was.
while ago. That was a while ago. I don't remember what year that was, but
But Kyle, let me ask you.
But it did take him.
Let me ask you this, Kyle.
Go
Hold
ahead.
on. Let me ask you this, Kyle. Are we seeing right now that the big three is just following the Drake script? Because when all of a sudden did J. Cole start doing features? And then here comes Kendrick with a sucker punch on a feature. How many features has Kendrick given to other rappers?
this is true.
Right? So
But
imagine how crazy it got when J. Cole start flooding the market with features. He did a feature with the B.I. girl, then a feature with Lil Yachty. He was supposed to do one with NBA Youngboy. And now you have Kendrick that just comes out of left field and does a feature with Future. And he really hit him with like a Jay-Z takeover kind of punch, right? And then Kendrick half-ass gave him a super ugly reply. And everybody knows when super ugly drops from Jay-Z, it was like, okay, this is over now. Thanks for playing. No, I'm not saying Kendrick gave a reply. I said J. Cole, his reply was the equivalent of super ugly to me. Like, it wasn't ready. It was rushed to market. You don't really feel like that. I'd rather him take the same verse that he gave B.I. and aim it at Kendrick, and that would be a crazy verse. One of the craziest verses you ever heard.
yeah, well, to answer the Drake thing, I don't necessarily know if that's Drake's game plan. Like, I feel like that's like a reminiscence of like a little bit of Hove and how he did things. But I do think that at the core, and we talked about this a little bit earlier too, but like, I don't feel like there was a real place for J. Cole in this beef. So he should have just sat that one out.
Head on is where his place was, sir. If you take the verse from that he gave Benny the Butcher and you just say Kendrick anywhere in that verse,
But it was like
Kendrick
I said,
would
I
be
don't think
struggling
it
for his
was.
life right now.
Not to cut you off, I don't think it was. I don't think it was warranted. Like whatever energy they had going back and forth, because you got people now that'll go back and dissect records from both and say, "Oh, this may be a diss here, this may be a diss here." Between Kendrick and Cole. But to me, if there was never any beef, and like this is why his record didn't have that type of energy. This is why he felt like he wanted to double back because he just didn't really feel that way. And you know what? And on in hindsight, you gotta
Yeah.
respect that. Like, yo, I jumped out the window, people wanted blood. That's not really, I really don't feel that way. I fuck with son. I respect that. I just don't see a place for that in hip hop. Like, fuck it. If you're gonna drop the record, stand on it. And then later on, y'all patch it up. It took Hove and Nas years to fucking, you know what I'm saying? Those records are still available. You know what I mean? Yeah, like
Yeah.
But does Nas perform Ether? He got a whole song that he loves. I mean, that the
I mean, he
people
probably
love
passed it
that he
at this
probably doesn't
point,
even
yeah.
perform.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm sure if Nas was, but I'm saying I'm sure if Nas was to do a show and he played Ether, people would love it. I would love to hear it live, and I'll probably never
Nah,
get to
he
see
can't
it.
do that.
Yeah, right. It would probably start over.
Yeah, he can't do that. Yeah, but I mean, even in the apology, J. Cole was giving out. He was saying that like people was gassing him up, and he felt like saying that was lame for him to like, cause like
It's a
the
blood
culture
sport.
is
Yeah.
peer pressure, right? Like, yo, you ain't say nothing yet. So like, I'm like, okay, cool. You jumped out there and you did your verse, and it wasn't bad and stuff like that. But I just wish he wouldn't have retracted it so quickly, right? And I wish he wouldn't have gave like a public tour apology.
You know why
right?
I don't believe
That's the part where it messes me up.
I don't believe this guy because how does J. Cole abstain from every other peer pressure of hip hop? Every single one, from women to jury to every other down floor pitfall of hip hop, but he gets pushed to put out a record he don't want to put out.
Because it's
Well-
beef.
well-
The beef is people. Yo, you got 5 minutes to respond. What's up
But-
with you? Like that pressure is a little bit different than the females and the wearing chains and the getting your hair done. But the beef, the war stuff, people take that very seriously.
fresh.
People have died over it.
And
That
not
motherfucker
to
said-
cut you off.
He said,
Oh, go ahead.
getting your hair done. My bad. I just thought that was funny as shit. 'Cause J. Cole definitely don't. He's not jacking no hair done. Nigga.
Yeah, like
not to cut that off, but the thing I would say is that he had a project ready to go. He had a project in the tuck already, and what better way to get it to the project, access to the project, than to have a beef record on it? Which goes back to my statement before, like this whole thing has just been crafted. And, I feel
No, it
like
could
it's
be
been put
definitely true,
together.
yeah.
Because like, what is the odds that he would just have? I mean, he was probably already working on this, right? And that's why you see like everything, even the joint with Cam, all the records that he have sound like J. Cole, and then you have that one record that sounds like he was just like, oh, let me throw this in there real quick, right? Like, and then it was subpar. So I don't know what's happening here. So
I feel like everybody wanted to capitalize off of this. If you smart and you understand the business, like how Rick Ross did, he shot a video, he put it out on iTunes. Y'all can hear me?
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Keep
He put it out on iTunes. He's making revenue off of the record. I think this was a stimulus package for.
You think it's a stimulus package?
I think it's a stimulus package for a lot of guys who are not necessarily eating at this current moment. So, and it was a smart play by Kendrick to do what he did. Like I said, necessarily, I don't know if J. Cole benefit. I think he did benefit because if the disc record wasn't
project
on
was
and this
ready.
beef wasn't going on,
Yeah.
like, are we really checking for a mid-tour J. Cole mixtape? I mean, you guys probably are.
I don't like the way you said that. That
If I
sounded
want to
kinda-
go to sleep, I'm gonna just get some
First of
Benadryl
all,
or something, bro.
okay.
Hold on,
All
are you
right.
saying J. Cole be putting you to sleep?
You know how I
Oh,
put my
okay.
kids to sleep at night? I put
No, you
on
don't.
Forest Hill Drive.
Shut up.
I'm just saying, bro. Is that not what everybody else does?
Yo, you ain't right for that. You're not right for that. First of all, Forest Hill Drive was a fire ass record. Now, if you said For the Bells or whatever the next one was,
For your eyes only?
yeah, For Your Eyes Only, I could argue that that one was slower. But Forest Hill Drive had some bangers on it. You full of shit. You full of shit on that one.
Nah, I fuck with Cole. I fuck with Cole, but he's definitely you know, he's a lyricist. It's not the turn up music that you play in the car, so
Yeah, for sure.
It's not.
how we want to wait for him to come back in or
No, we can keep.
Keep going. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, nah, he was saying how
Jump in.
Kendrick is basically riding the wave of his first album and how to Pimp a Butterfly wasn't it. And
Oh, that's a good question. That is a good question. What are your thoughts on To Pimp a Butterfly? Because I am also biased to Kendrick, so I'm gonna go last. Somebody go first. What the hell?
good conceptual album.
I don't like this silence. What's up, Scope? Yeah.
Good
What is the question?
album.
The question. I'm gonna repeat for Scope. The question is, and it's based on the conversation you just said. What is your thoughts on To Pimp a Butterfly? Somebody go first. Don't all jump in at once.
Good conceptual album. I think it was ahead of its time. It was ahead of its time. I don't think a lot of people were ready for it, especially during this time where we got like everybody featuring on Afro beats, records, and different genres of music. I just don't think we was ready for it at the time, especially like to follow up with that after a record like Good Kid, Mad City.
Yeah.
Was totally left field, but like we know that to be Kendrick now. So I just think it was ahead of its time.
Scope, you had a strong opinion.
I'm saying To Pimp a Butterfly is not it, bro. It is a bait and switch. I don't think he had enough cachet to do a full 360 like that. And also, I'm a little skeptical because it's Baby King kid. He's sounding a lot like Kendrick. Does Kendrick have a ghostwriter? Is what I'm saying.
Okay, see now how we get to this? How do we get to
Something's
this?
not sitting right with me about the TDE camp. Something's not sitting right with me about those guys because those two records are polar opposites, and it's like so artsy. It makes you feel like, oh, you're not hip if you're not catching on to this, and it's just not it to me.
Well, it's not even TDE anymore now. It's what is it? PG
Lane.
But was that
PG
album
Lane.
under TDE still, right?
No, it was under
that was still
TDE.
TDE.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the product is suspect.
Pimp a Butterfly.
Can we all agree that Kendrick got two classic albums though? Because Damn was a classic fucking album. I don't.
Yeah, Damn.
To me personally, that was a hit.
I honestly can agree with that. I'll give him at least solid 2. I still personally think To Pimp a Butterfly was amazing. I think it was to Live's point, it was a conceptual album at a time where everybody was used to just like shoot 'em up music. So to me, I enjoyed that. And if you were like an early Kendrick fan, it was like Section 80 2.0, right? Like it was just it was not Good Kid, Mad City. So everybody who came in and was like, "Oh, we're gonna get a Good Kid, Mad City 2," that was never gonna happen. It was, matter of fact, I don't think if I were to jump in there and assume his position, I think he did that because he needed a big record. I don't think that he would have done that if he wanted to. So, but it's still a dope ass record, right? And it was conceptual. Everything was big about that, and it was just like what we were getting from that time. And I can't shade that.
Are you saying that that album was equivalent to 808s and Heartbreaks, To Pimp a Butterfly?
That's a good question.
I don't think so.
I would say yes.
I don't think so.
Really? I would say yes.
Because I feel like 808s changed the whole culture.
Yes, it did. Sonically.
At the time.
Sonically, it
didn't.
At the time, it was a miss. Yeah.
Sonically,
at the time, everybody thought it was a miss. Yeah.
I always loved it though.
I would say there was an attempt there. I wouldn't say it had the same impact, but I would say if you would compare it to the body of work, yes, it would be his 808 and Heartbreaks. Because I do think a lot of people weren't prepared for that. But now you hear certain artists making records that are a little bit more like instrument led and stuff like that. So I think personally he made a record that would go very well touring. Like it would be very good for touring, and that doesn't always translate to
And then on
records.
a worldwide scale, like I said, I think for some reason I feel like Kendrick would do very well in this Afro beats heavy like
Yeah,
featuring. I think that would be his lane. Like this is the time he needs to be jumping on a whole bunch of those records. Like
yeah,
it
and
just fits what he does well.
I
Is
don't
it?
know. Yeah, I don't know I don't know what his game plan is because ever since he's been off TDE, it's been like he's took the Andre 3000 route, where it's like you get one verse every now and again. I'm just like, I don't get it. But go ahead, MVP.
Mhm.
No, I was just gonna say like, is the bias there because he don't drop that often?
No, I think he is probably arguably one of a very different type of person that we've ever gotten. At least it was like when you think of like hip hop greats, like you think the Biggie, the Nas, the Jay-Z, like all these people were like fixtures of that time. I would argue that Kendrick had the ability to do that. He just doesn't drop that often, but his impact is so strong because I think he's running the old game plan, right? He disappears, comes up when he has a project, and that's just different to what we're used to now because we're used to seeing every tweet and thing
Right.
from everybody else. So
So Kendrick, to me, and it might be unpopular opinion, but he's like AZ, right?
Ooh,
wow,
Like AZ
wow,
is nice, right? But
yeah,
AZ only come out once in a blue. You don't hear AZ music everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But the greats mention him like, yo, he's one of them guys. Like, don't get it
yeah,
twisted. He's one of those guys. And that's to me, Kendrick, his music is a reflection of that. Like AZ dropped album, I think like last year. He haven't dropped the album in so many years, and people is going crazy over it. You know what I'm saying? So I think
interesting.
Kendrick has that like AZ Nas type of Andre 3000 type of thing where like he drops sporadically when he feels like it every couple of years.
Interesting.
I was gonna say, Kyle, too. You know what? I'm listening to you guys, I just realized Drake is the goat now, bro. Drake is the goat. It's kind of like admitting that LeBron is the best NBA basketball player ever. Like we could do any metric, any
You better
metric.
watch your
Hold
mouth.
on, any metric that you use, bro, he's the top. I just read a article. Kendrick got like 3 number 1 hits. Drake has 13. Like
Yeah.
Drake had over 250 songs on the Billboard. Kendrick barely had like 30. I
Drake is
mean,
an anomaly.
Mhm.
Drake is literally an
But let's
anomaly.
be honest though, not to cut you off. Let's be honest though, Drake hasn't. I don't know. Maybe like once he's taken some time off when we had
good point.
Yeah.
the views from the six. Like Drake does not give hip hop a second to breathe.
That
Like
Nope.
shouldn't.
he's going to jump on every feature that he thinks is hot. He's on every new nigga. He's
Yep.
jumping on waves. Like
Mm-hmm.
He's surfing out
so
here.
Mixy boy.
one thing I give Drake
Sexy boy.
credit for is hard work. Like they say, hard work
He's
Beats
beats
talented.
talent
talent
every
when
time.
talent
It's gonna
doesn't
be
work
hard
hard.
work.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
But he has
so
talent too.
I give him that.
He,
No,
Well,
well, this is my thing. This is a point that I want to get to. I know we're talking about this whole beef situation. Um, Drake and these ghostwriter
yeah, I know it was coming.
allegations that he's
not
fighting,
allegations,
like
sir.
he's trying to
Quentin
fight.
Quentin's pen's
So,
on fire right now.
well, not even Quentin. I just sent a reference track. I think Kyle, did I send you that? There's a dude in New York that's popping named Cash Cobain, right? And
I remember that name.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if y'all heard. He did like he do those beats too, like and it's beat from Cash, not from YouTube. I don't know if y'all ever heard that
Mhm.
drop on some of the beats, but fire producer and he's just making waves. He got the wave right now. It's like fucking female drill rap or some shit like and they jacking it. So but I heard a song that I liked on Drake's album. The 20, I was 21 or some shit, whatever the fuck, however the song go. I don't know the name of the song. But I heard the exact reference track with Cash Cobain saying the exact like he did the whole song and Drake just put his voice behind it. So my question to you is this is the third record I heard from that album, right? So we heard the Yachty shit. I don't know, y'all heard that?
Okay, yeah. I was just about to say
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Yachty one
yeah.
came
We
out.
heard the Jumbotron shit popping,
Yeah,
right? There's
yeah,
another
yeah.
Yachty record on this last album that we know that Yachty wrote and penned. I mean, let's be honest here. Like, yeah, you got an older crowd who says like, yo, you have to write your own shit. You got this generation who really just doesn't care. You know, if the song is hot, it doesn't matter. But how can Drake be number one? To me now, I'm starting to say, well, who the fuck is Drake? Like, what does he write? Like, do I even know
So,
this motherfucker as an artist now? Like,
well, you know what? I would argue we're from a dying breed, right? Like where I don't think the average person cares. I think we from as hip hop fans, like the people who would read credits on the CDs, like we're just from a different generation, right? Like it's just not that. And I think that what we're seeing is Drake get to Beyonce level where Beyonce doesn't write all her stuff and no one cares, right?
But
So
but
I think
Beyonce is
that's
also R&B singer, right? So you can't. Here's the thing.
So Drake.
so is Drake.
Hold on,
and
right?
that's what,
So
yo, that's
Go
like
ahead. Tell him
so
like he's finished.
so look, right? Like 50 said it. He said Drake is a hybrid. He raps and he sings. Okay, you can't. In the same token, you can't say that he's one of the best MCs of all time if he's not penning his own shit, right?
100%.
Live is a rapper, or used to rap at some point, right? If Kyle wrote all the live raps and Live was supposed to be like this big, lyrical guy, who really wrote the raps? Was it Live or was it Kyle? Right?
Does it
So
matter?
so the so
yeah, it fucking
it does
matters.
matter.
Well,
It does matter. But
okay.
here's the problem with Drake, right? There's a because Drake rap and he sings just as good, they blurred the line just for him.
And Chris Brown.
Well, Chris
Well,
Brown don't count, right? They
Yeah,
blurred
we
the
don't
Chris
really
line just
care
Brown
for
about
did.
him.
him as a rapper.
Huh?
We don't care about him as a
You don't
rapper.
care about him as a rapper,
Yeah,
right? So when you're claiming to be an MC, like a lyricist, that's a complete different conversation. Now, you can say Drake is
but
or
go ahead.
get
when you saying you number one, like it's hard to. I get it with R&B singers because R&B singers they have a talent. Their voice is their talent, right? But when you're a
Okay.
rapper, like
your lyricist.
you're just a voice. Like you're not. You're just fucking saying some shit somebody else wrote for you. So what do you actually do, and who the fuck are you as a person? You feel what
But
I'm
we've
saying?
had so many people in the past that have fallen into this category that don't write. Like I remember there was a bunch of
Kanye
stories,
West.
a bunch of people who got records written by Boo and Gotti, and they were signed. We don't even know who the people are, right? Cameron wrote a bunch of stuff for people that so like the people who can pen stuff can literally make a lot of other people sound great. It's like, do we look at like I look at The Chronic as one of the greatest albums ever,
They
right?
ain't write shit on there.
Zero, right?
Good album.
Because
But it's
Dre is
one
a
of the best.
producer.
So
But hold on, right? Dre don't run around talking
go ahead.
about he's the best MC in the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm saying.
So if you running around talking about you the best that ever do it, the best that ever did what exactly? Make that
Artists.
clear.
Yeah,
But let me ask you
but
this.
go
So
ahead.
a lot of the people that they accuse of having ghostwriters, which they do, but Drake will also turn around and write records for people. So
Thank you.
what are we
Wait. R&B records. So this is my other question. I'm glad you said that, Scope, and I'll let you finish up. Are we watching an R&B singer pretend to be a rapper?
they're
Thank
not
you.
pretending. They're
I
not
don't like the word pretend. I don't like the word pretend.
because
I mean, if
He
he's
can
not
rap,
writing the raps,
But
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 he can
but
pen an R&B record like it ain't shit.
but it
but
was to a certain point that he, like the whole part of the Beyonce thing, he had to get to a certain point to get into that ghostwriter bag. Like he wasn't when he first started. He wasn't.
yeah.
Nobody was ghostwriting his shit. He was rapping his own shit.
I
Well,
don't even know that, man.
Well, we don't
because
know.
even though-
You know what? The reason why we don't know is because remember the BlackBerry thing when he was on Flex or
my
somebody
life.
used and
Facts.
he was rapping with the BlackBerry. But it's like, what is this? Right at a time
That's
when
a
like you
fact.
had to have those up on top of your head.
On the
So
top of
is
your
it
head.
is it possible that this whole thing has been fabricated and maybe Lil Wayne been writing for him forever?
You mean
Who
Gilly?
knows?
Stop
Who
You
it.
mean Gilly?
knows?
Stop it.
Hold on, you mean
Who
Gilly?
knows?
You mean
But
Gilly
if
the
it is,
kid?
if that came out, that would have been the biggest conspiracy. I do feel like Drake had the ability to be that for one reason. He was able to. He's an actor, right? Like he was able to put everything
Shit's starting
together.
to add up.
And,
Shit's starting to add up.
it
Now
is
you putting this
impossible.
actor-
But the thing about it is, those first couple of albums for him, I remember the record where it was called Affair, and he's like talking about having a ghostwriter, and he's like, like all these are feelings whatever he said. I was like, we really lived that, right? Where we felt that. But I think he's gotten to the point where Drake is putting out so many records. To your point earlier, live, he doesn't take any time off. He's just always there. There, as all of us being different creative points in our lives, that level of efficiency requires some help.
But here's the thing, right? Drake is playing a publishing game.
Oh, 100%.
Right? The 100%. More music that he's on, the bigger the publishing going to be. The more his masters is going to be worth. Yeah. That's the road that he's taking. And because he can rap and sing, he give you R&B albums and rap albums. He's winning on both sides.
Yeah.
But who owns the masters though? Are we talking about Cash Money? We're talking about Young Money, Cash Money, Motown?
Listen, as far as who own the masters, I don't know. But I'm saying, I believe Drake is playing a publishing game where he's trying to up the bag on his publishing. So when he go get his money right to go buy his masters, that's when he's going to be shitting on niggas for real.
Okay. So not to cut you off, but I have a question. Because we all artists around here, right? You've been in the studio, you've been vibing, and you say a bar, your man say, hey, you should probably say it like this.
I wrote all
and you laid a bar.
Raps.
Yeah, okay,
does this mean
cut it out?
Hold on, you got to be careful how you say that live, right? Are you playing around or are you serious? So I'm like, yo, does that mean that your man saying, yo, switch that bar around? Now you got ghostwriters?
Yes,
does that mean that?
Yes, it does, sir.
No,
that's
it
crazy.
Cut it out, Scope.
Crazy.
Okay, well, so wait. So live. How much times you been in the studio and one of your homies say, nah, bro, don't say it like that, say it like this, or they give you an idea of what to add into the song?
I've had 1,000 situations, especially recording with Styles, where he was like, "Yo, do that over," or change this or change that. At the level of, it depends on how much you work. Like at the level we was trying to make music, sometimes you writing shit and it don't sound right when it come out, and somebody may have a suggestion on something different. My thing is, there's a difference between you being a writer and the performer and the artist. And then, because let's be honest, before all these other allegations of other artists working with Drake, all of his R&B hits are Party Next Door songs.
Yeah.
Who are we really listening to? When you really think about it, Drake is kind of just the face of whatever they camp they got going on. We've heard rumors of the OVO sweatshop.
Yeah.
It's not the first time, bro.
They try to get The Weeknd in there, and he was like,
crazy.
I'm good.
Yeah. Can one of our greats...
I'm good.
The Weeknd was like, fuck that, you're not taking my albums, bro.
Yeah, bro. They tried it. But with him.
Can one of our greats have so many fucking ghostwriting allegations? Like, I mean, that's what I'm starting to feeling like.
So the question is, and there's been a lot of comparisons between like Drake and Michael Jackson in his beats. I mean, in his beef. But can we argue that, knowing that, I know we're gonna bring up the R&B thing, but like Michael Jackson was the king of pop. He didn't write everything. It was never in question whether he was the king.
Because but Michael never gave himself. He never coined himself the king of pop.
True. You're right.
That's true.
Once again, like I said before,
it's a fact.
Like I said before, right?
Did.
If the Wu-Tang, look. If Ghostface one of my favorite rappers, right? If I was to hear Ghostface rhymes written by you, God, he's not my favorite no more. Because you know what I'm saying? Because you can't walk around talking about you hip hop. Hip hop is a level of authenticity, right? That comes along with that. So you can't talk about you a lyricist and you an MC if you're not writing your own shit. If I give you an idea while we're in the studio, that's different. But I didn't write the rhyme for you.
Right. I got a rebuttal.
But all right. Well, you go first. I have something for that whole thing. But go ahead. You go, MVP.
My rebuttal is, if it's about authenticity, I can't even say the word.
Authenticity.
There you go. If it's about that, then what's up with all these guys who not real killers and gangsters making music and everybody banging with it?
Okay, we go. I should go first.
Now you're moving to go first.
Okay, let me fall back.
Now you're moving to go first.
Then go.
I should have gone
not
first.
To cut you off. Go ahead, Styles. My bad.
My biggest thing is I feel like if we're looking at it, we're looking at hip hop morph into something else, right? And we're seeing it, right? Because think about what music was when we first came into the game, based on like our general average of ages here. You know, hip hop was just the beginning of the commercialization part, but it was still very fringe, and it was still very much like the voice of the rebel, right? So, you know, it was coming to the point where people were selling big deals, where now you literally could have people come out the gate, one record, have the biggest freaking contract ever, and that wasn't the case. That wasn't the case before.
True.
So the argument with Drake is, I think he was at the point where it really hit its peak from a commercialization standpoint, and he was able to take that and make himself a lot of money, right? Like I think that's really what it comes down to. He was able to make himself a lot of money, and if you're looking at what we use as metrics for success in a commercialized business, it's numbers. And if you look at it, his numbers are the top.
Damn.
Agreed.
Because I would say,
He just can't be on my rap Mount Rushmore, my nigga.
Well
'Cause,
put, K
like I
Style.
said, I
Well
don't.
put. But also,
Yeah,
go ahead.
go ahead, Scope.
I was gonna say on my Mount Rushmore, I think I'm at the age right now where I'm ready to take Biggie and Pac down.
yes.
You know, there's so many other artists, so many things that have been more impactful in my personal life, music wise. And you know, I started looking at Biggie's discography. It was only 2 albums. There were 2 great albums, huh?
Yeah.
I mean,
There were 2 great
can't.
albums. Pac,
That's all you can do. Yeah.
I
But
never
Scope, right?
liked the stuff, huh?
But here's the thing, right, Scope? It's difficult to say greatest of all times. But when Biggie been dead for 30 years, bro. I remember skipping school and going to his funeral.
Damn,
Right?
yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So I think every 10 years we need to have the conversation within a decade. Within the
I'm not mad at
decade.
that.
I take that.
Okay.
Right? Every 10 years, revisit the conversation and see who you're going to switch out and who you're going to add in, because things will change. New artists will come and they will change the game, and they're going to be more innovative than the last, and they're going to be more lyrical than the last, and they're going to have a bigger impact than the last, right? And that's when you switch them out. Your top 10, top 5, however it is that is going to be done. But this greatest of all time thing, I think because it creates this like old head versus young head argument, and it doesn't go anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which brings me back to LeBron, because now we got Drake for 2 decades.
Yeah, so LeBron will be the best basketball player. LeBron will be the best basketball player over the past 20 years.
Okay, but then the question is, to add to this framework that you've created, who is on the Mount Rushmore for the last 10 years if you don't include Drake?
20 years, bro.
Well, wait. So you're talking about just
20
wait.
years.
So you're talking about just as an
10
artist,
years, but 20 years.
But you're saying just as an artist.
I am not putting any classifications on.
But that's what I'm saying. That's where it gets sticky. That's what gets sticky.
And that's why he's able to argue that he's number one, because if he's arguing
if you're going off of metrics, yes, he's up there. But if you're going off of lyricism,
first of all, if you're going after lyricism, they'll cut the list in half. half these people don't say shit. Like so even in Drake at his infantile contributions, like he's still contributing something, right? I hope. I don't know.
That's the problem. See, it's not that I don't think Drake is fire or his music isn't good. Like, that motherfucker can rap if he's actually rapping. That's the problem I have. I have this what if thing.
But hold on, and that's why. Hold on. Not to cut you off, but that's why I wanted to give a rebuttal to Live, because just because someone wrote this does not mean you can say it the way it needs to be said. Because I've been in studios when motherfuckers been like, "Yo, MVP say it," and I say it, and they're like, "No, you got to say it like this," and I say it, and they're like, "Nah, you know what? You do the hook because MVP ain't saying it right." So don't just think, hey, because you got the bars there, that you got the tone to be able to deliver the bars.
No,
the difference is one thing I'm gonna add to that. The difference is if you it's like writing an essay versus having ChatGPT write the essay, right? Like literally, you could come to an essay that you like, but if every time you wrote an essay, you wrote it with ChatGPT, you can see it. Like, are you really doing any work?
Exactly.
And that's what I'm saying. My
You're putting
biggest
in
question
cues,
is
That's the
and
is
it's
Drake
question.
AI? Like,
Yeah.
is Drake just a fucking AI? Are we watching the
Oh.
evolution of AI through Drake, my dude? Like,
Well, the one thing I
think
want to say before you go 21 Keys is even hearing him say like he did the Snoop and Pac thing. He's like he wrote those verses, and you're like, are you sure? Are you sure?
See, okay,
It
look.
sound like he did.
Okay,
It
look,
sound
right,
like he
look.
I
did
don't
though.
know.
All right, look. Here's the thing about
Go
that
ahead.
about the argument, right? It's like it's
we need
like
to see proof. Fuck that.
right. So look, it's like the boy who cried wolf, right? It's like the boy who cried
Okay.
wolf. That's what Drake is facing right now. Even if he wrote a whole album and it's one of the best pieces of work he ever did, no one's going to believe him because of all of the other stuff from before.
We need the Dave Chappelle, R. Kelly level of proof. I need your
Hold on,
birth
but Kyle,
certificate. I need your grandmother there, and we need video. We need the pen you wrote with.
You
We
need
need
to
to
be
see the
like, that's my
actual pen.
baby. In the
We need the
video,
pen
that's my baby.
with.
Got
I
a
need to see the
blood
pen with
test
the
for
amount of ink taken out.
Is
Go
this
ahead,
the same
Scola.
ink? Is this
Yeah,
the
yeah,
right
we
ink?
got
I don't
it.
think this is the ink you use.
I think people can really differentiate. Like if you heard the Kanye attempt to jump into the beef, right? You could tell Kanye wrote that first
That was
bar.
Kanye. That
That
was
first
Kanye.
bar
Yeah.
was all Kanye, right? Because it started off
Yeah.
like a little just punchline that he thought was hard as fuck.
He did think. He thought the whole
So that
track was hard
He's
as
like, yo,
fuck.
I'm gonna
so
kill him with
then
this one.
And then he gave it away. He's
my
like, hey, finish this up for me. Finish this up for me. Tighten it up.
Hey,
Right?
so then my question is, I was telling Styles about this before. If you go back and you listen to Drake whole last album, and I'll make this quick, but um, there's like a different vibe, right? He's good at reinventing himself every album. So he got,
Yeah.
mind you, this is now I know a lot of people wrote this music, but there's a different vibe to each song on this album. And then we get to this last track, which was one of the singles, which I was perplexed by that "Fuck My Ex" song, right? Everybody knows that song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So on that song, is that Drake rapping? Because if that's Drake rapping, I can see why he has ghostwriters. Because the whole like I'm all ears, like I've been a fan of Disney. Like I was like, what the fuck? Like
I think
I
there.
just
I think
those were
there's a
struggle
period.
bars, bro.
Well, I
If
think
you
there's a
listen to
period.
that song, it's struggle bars, bro.
I
Go
think
ahead.
there's a period where Drake is like not trying though, and
Yeah,
that's
he's
why I
not
think he's
trying no more.
writing because
Ooh.
I think he's getting to a part where like he's not even
Getting
the
to
stuff
a
that he's
part?
putting out is like his
Yeah.
borderline bars. Like so that track makes sense for it not to hit like he wanted to hit because he's putting out so much music. Now, if he had writers, everything would hit all the time.
But
There's
So
no
that's my
excuse, right?
question. The rest
But
of
it
the album
has.
hit. The
Yes.
rest of
And
the
that-
album hit.
So you
So
think
you-
the last track they were just like, you
I
know
feel
what,
like he was
you
like, yo,
write
this
this.
is it. He was in the studio like, yo, I wrote this shit, bro. We putting this one out, and everybody was like, all right, bro.
Alright, if you want to, bro, if you want to put it
Put it
out.
at the end of the album.
Yeah. Put it. No one gonna notice.
And
At the end of
exactly
the
where the
album.
fucking song is at the end of the album.
but
But you think about it like this way, right? Like we think we saw someone who put this level of effort in, and you saw it because he kept dropping projects after his death, which is Tupac. And we knew we could start listening to some of the records, and we're like, this one probably shouldn't have come out, right? Imagine if one, he was alive, and two, he had help.
Pac promised,
Would he not have that same run?
Pac promised he didn't take the help. Pac was giving people alley oops. Sometimes I don't understand how the Outlaws got on some of these Pac tracks. I'd rather him fade the song out than let anybody else on some of these tracks. Like, hit him up.
Damn, son.
I'd rather Pac gave us 40-second songs. He must have had ADHD or some or short attention
Bro, that
span because he'll be on to the next shit.
You heard the story.
Actually, he
right?
said he do.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
said he was like, yo, this is all folklore, but they were saying that he assumed his death was gonna be soon, so he was just putting out records. So he would go in and just record stuff really quickly and then move on. Which, as you started getting to 7 and 8 posthumous, whatever that's called, records, where after he died, you're like, yeah, these sound like he rushed these and didn't put these together.
So
you needed
He
Diddy.
also
Nah.
You needed Diddy to
Diddy.
make the sound clean, bro. All Biggie's albums sound
That
crispy.
comes with a lot of other.
They sound
is true.
crispy when they come on to this day. All Biggie's
And then-
all Biggie's songs are polished.
And then you
Yeah,
also
that's
got to
true.
understand, right, that Biggie was a true lyricist, bro. But Biggie was on
True.
songs three verses and hooks by himself.
Yeah.
Come on.
The dude's syllables was just crazy.
Yep.
Like the way he was putting syllables together, like
So
words just
Content
sound
was
that also
suspect.
goes down. What's that?
His content was suspect, but a
Yeah,
lot of
but
I don't
gay,
want
a
to
lot
go
of
there
gay
because,
stuff
like,
in
we-
Biggie bars.
as a young man listening, I didn't realize what he was saying.
but
And then they brought it back to my attention. I was like, okay, that was kind of wild.
sense now, doesn't it?
That-
Like,
With Diddy?
yes, it's kind of
No Diddy. No Diddy.
It's
no Diddy.
it's unfortunate. It's like that's one of the things that you know how they talk about when you get older, how you start seeing your heroes die, and we're seeing the heroes die alive. They're dying. They're living.
Nah, that's
But
not
they're
what he
getting
meant, though. That's not what he
assassinated.
meant.
I
That's
know
all.
that's not what he meant, but let's look
Yeah,
what's
that's not what he
happening.
meant.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not gonna get into that. All right, so to end it off, right? Because I feel like we went all over, which is what this platform is for. It's a bunch of people who love music and love talking about music. This is literally what every one of my individual phone calls sound like. So I'm sharing it with the world. So I appreciate y'all listening. But do we see a future where Kendrick responds and there's more going back and forth? Do we see that?
I think
He need to respond.
I think
He need
Kendrick
to respond.
responds, and then everybody else sit down. I think that's what's going to happen.
That's what we want, but do you think that's going to happen?
Well, here's the thing. I think here's my theory. I think people are going to try to make an attempt to rebuttal, but it's not going to be anywhere close to where it's going to make sense. And then once
You have
again,
an actual,
To me,
yeah.
you also got to keep in mind Kendrick is from the West Coast. The West Coast dudes only playing that. So when you go out to LA for shows and to hang out and party, they're gonna be on your bumper.
Yeah.
But Drake is capo though.
What?
I don't know about that.
Drink it too?
I don't think we should use that word. Let's not
Mob
use that word, bro.
ties. What I don't know what else I need to say.
Mob ties don't go past Texas.
It didn't help on
That's a good
Texas
nah, that's
either.
not true.
It didn't help in Texas
Yeah.
Nah,
last time.
They don't
they
go
got
past
a
Texas.
couple
Bro.
ties they got a couple ties in different states, but
They have to.
yeah, I wanted to say as far as this beef goes, Drake is up right now. I think if we
All
really
right.
look at the
Okay. Let's
situation,
be honest. Let's be honest.
that drop and give me 50 record was
Hard.
what we wanted. Like he didn't hold back. That motherfucker said, all right, I'm gonna step up to the plate.
Okay.
And then on top of that, he dropped another record. I wasn't too keen with the AI shit, but
Oh, that one.
it was still dope. I like the
Yeah.
fact that you
He
you
did-
pushing the issue. Like Drake don't duck no smoke. I like that about him. That petty nigga shit, I be on that too. Like, bro, we if we stepping, we stepping. Fuck everything else. So I respect that about him.
I
He
do want to
up
say
right
one
now,
thing. Go ahead.
but he's up by a sliver because to me, the Kendrick record is still fucking, number one is still playing everywhere. And then at the same time, I think if Kendrick was smart, he would not drop a response right now. Like I think the best move in the situation is to wait till that shit die down. Because what happens if you drop a record now, people can directly compare what Drake just dropped to what you just dropped. But if you give it some time and you incorporate that into a new album or some new, it's just a better play for you to benefit and capitalize off the situation by waiting until you have something to put out. So
That makes sense.
Let me
and
tell
then
you
one last
what
thing, and
he.
I'll leave it
Oh,
alone.
go ahead.
My bad. One last thing. I think Drake is baiting Kendrick to drop because Drake has a project with DJ Who Kid. So it's like, hurry up, nigga, because I want to drop this mixtape on your head, with three
Boost
other
the
disc
sales.
records on it. And I think that's why Drake is kind of, pandering or trying to push Kendrick to hurry up and say something back.
Go ahead, Scope.
Look, man, freaking Drake needs this. He needs to recoup from the Pusha T beef, right? Because Pusha T just want to come off the sideline and hit us with a couple good freestyles right now. It'd be good timing, right? Also, maybe Drake needs to look into getting into some 3-6 Mafia beats. He has ties to Memphis because this beat that Metro Boomin made is menacing. It is a problem. You can listen to it just instrumental by itself. It really don't need no
Instrumental,
words,
bro. Yeah.
right? And
Yeah,
also,
agreed.
I think Quentin Miller is about to go crazy on Kendrick.
We keep bringing up Quentin.
Yeah, right.
Queen's
Don't
about
mess
to
with
go.
Drake no more.
Leave that guy alone, man. He been through too much.
And you
bro.
know, a lot of people need this stimulus package. I could see Meek somehow trying to jump in this some kind of way.
Nah.
No,
Nope.
Meek is gonna sit his ass down. Several seats. Several.
Meek
He
is
ain't-
dodging digital litigation.
Because- because-
yeah, bro.
If you look
Keep
at
Meek
quiet.
fighting a paper bag right now, bro, and losing,
if you
and
look at
losing
what
to a
Drake
fucking
It's not in his
allegation.
best interest.
if you look at what Drake did to Meek, bro, he's trying to do the same thing to Kendrick, bro. And
Which is yes. The dropping. Do we feel like the dropping, give me 50, whatever the name of the thing is? Do we feel
Push-ups,
that's better than
Nah, the back to back is
the
better.
back to back?
Yeah,
Because I feel like
back-to-back.
back to back
Back-to-back
was
is
playing
better.
in the club, bro.
Yeah, back to back is
Nah,
better.
I actually,
It's not your
I
tour, it's your
jack-
girls' tour. Like, come on.
I jack push-ups. I think that was a
Oh, yeah?
better
Push-ups
record.
is
Really?
nice.
Yeah.
Push-ups is nice.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
The original
what-
version. I don't know
well-
why they changed the beat around
the
and
beat
all
up.
that. but
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
yeah.
Well, we
Yeah,
gotta
go
see
ahead.
how
with
it
the Get
aged.
Money
21.
sample on it.
Yeah,
We gotta see how it aged.
that's how it aged.
If it ages as well as the
Back to back.
back to back, then
That,
hmm
no, that man, I hear that record now. I'm still like, damn, dog.
It's a jam, bro.
It's-
Like
it's-
that joint, it still hit.
It
Yeah.
still hit.
Still hurts. Still hurts.
I'm sure
so,
it does.
So okay, if we're gonna say you don't write your raps or whatever, so you're not, in the conversation, but Drake is battle tested. I thought that if you've been battle tested, that puts you in a different realm in the conversation of being at the top, like Jay-Z and Nas.
Is it battle
So what's
tested?
up? Like,
is it battle tested if you didn't
he
you
pick
didn't
and
push
chooses
button? Like
who he went at. He didn't. When Pusha T,
but
they
even
went
then-
at him.
hold on,
but
hold
even
on,
with
hold
that,
on.
even with that,
Oh,
go ahead. I'll let you finish. I'll let you finish.
Go ahead.
When
I
Pusha
get
T
what you're
went
saying. Go
full
ahead.
throttle at him, he didn't give
Mhm.
Pusha T the same type of smoke. Okay, he went at Meek because he approached the Meek beef as a battle rap beef, right? So he looked at all the holes of Meek game and then he threw it at him, right? And be like, oh yeah, you know what, that is true, right? But the Kendrick thing, he's kind of getting some points, but what he needs to do is focus on really getting back at Pusha, because Pusha really put a
Black eye.
yeah,
I
permanent one.
Yeah, but I feel like a funny thing with that is that he just stopped responding. He didn't, and there was a whole excuse about like, yeah, I was about to respond, and then
Jay Prince.
like they said no, and I'm like I don't know about all of that, but I do feel like there was that beef was like a little bit more real than this one.
I think so too. I mean, he did give his reasons, but that is a hit on his jacket, right? Like that is because he bowed out of that. That is a
Okay,
hit,
look.
but still, I'm
That's
like
Jadakiss going at Jay-Z, but he ducked Jay-Z to go at Nas. Like that's gonna be
But
on your jacket.
Joe Budden went at Jay-Z head up.
Head up. And Joe
punched
Budden
him in the
also went
mouth.
at
Nobody-
and Joe Budden
Punch him in the mouth,
Joe Budden also went at Drake head up.
yeah. Well, he went at everybody.
No, but I'm saying that's early in his
Give me
career.
that beat, fool. It's
Yeah.
a full-time Jack move. What we talking? Are you really talking about Joe Budden going at Jay-Z? Like, stop it.
People forget
Bro.
how Budden go.
Listen, your
Stop
Kyle.
it.
I mean,
That was
listen,
not
still
real
he
beef.
battle tested. I guess.
Your
Is
Kyle.
But the
he's
problem
battle
is,
I thought battle tested was the thing.
But battle
That's all.
tested
Is it not a
means
thing?
something differently now when we're saying the number one artist in the game, and we can question whether or not he wrote 90% of his records. Like if he's a number one and he don't write half his records, what is battle tested?
When you write your battle raps, like your
Does it matter?
freaking diss
But
songs,
do we know that though?
Do we know? And he will
Can
always
we
be fighting.
confirm?
Can we
He will
confirm?
always be fighting that. And even if that's it, the only way what Drake needs to do is he needs to put a documentary. And even then, we don't even know if he had wrote everything. We need a camera over his head watching him write. I don't want to hear he writes like Hove. None of that shit. I don't hear none of that. I want to see it, and that's the only way it's gonna be real. But truthfully, it doesn't matter anymore.
you think Chris Brown wrote his diss track?
Yes.
He's a singer though.
Chris Brown, but I know we
And
don't
people
care.
write his singing.
I know we don't care whether or not for Chris raps, but I want to say of
Who
all
don't
the
care
beefs
for
that's
Chris
going
rap?
on right now, you missed that part. But I would say right now of all the beef going on, the Chris Brown and Quavo is what we wanted. right? That should have been.
Okay, that's
They're
true.
like if we're looking at boxing, they like open for the big heads, but they should have been the final. They should have been the final fight because they're literally going at it in a way where I'm like, this is what rap used to be, and we're getting it from a singer and a member of a team. You're like, what are we talking about here?
I like that last Quavo record.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. I mean, but Chris Brown came out of nowhere, and I've only heard Chris Brown rap maybe 2 or 3 times. So I'm like, I think he wrote it, one, and he came smack at him too. Like I didn't know Chris. I've heard rumors, but I didn't know Chris Brown was so gangster. I had no idea. The bloodline was crazy to me. He's talking. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that?
Hold on, Chris has been out in LA gang banging and doing coke for 10 years. I'm sure he's very hardcore.
I just missed the whole part of that, but
he's been coked up in LA.
I've heard
partying for 10 years straight.
Gang banging
and
ain't been
on Paru. On Paru.
Ain't been touched yet.
You know what part of that money go? You know where the party when that money go?
They was talking about the extortion, with him.
No, well, not extortion. Well, I guess you could call it extortion. I don't know. Maybe
he paying his ties. So
he could just. I'm just saying he could just live in Idaho and live a good life and just be fine, bro. But nope.
But he doesn't.
Look at
I got a question for everybody here, though. All right, so where does everybody see this battle as far as who you got winning, and then long term, who do you think benefits from this?
Which battle?
I think it's talking about the Drake.
I want to say Drake and Kendrick because that's like the main two. Yeah. You do got a Drake and Future issue, but like, what can Future do? That's not. What would Pluto do? You feel me?
That's a hard question. It's a hard question because here's the thing. I think they're all gonna see individual gains from this from a like attention standpoint. I think that's gonna be without a question. As far as how we remember this, the way that people remember Ether and Takeover, we really depends on if Kendrick responds. If Kendrick never responds, Like That is still the hardest record out of this beef.
Out of the beef, correct? Yeah.
It's still,
mind you, they are playing Drake's diss track on the radio every day. So
yeah, but
1,000 times a day. But I
is
definitely
it still,
like
does
that.
It come in like? Does it come in with the come on, bro? That as a producer, that shit got me excited.
Facts.
I guess my thing
is.
Do
y'all remember when Wayne did that beat? I feel like
no. Was that on
Wayne
a beat?
Did that beat on a drought or some shit like that? That same beat.
No.
I think the name of the song was Hard Body, but they should go back and just put Wayne verse on it too. Fuck it, man. Put everybody on that shit. The shit hard.
Man.
I think that Drake's gonna win. Because I'm sorry, but like Kendrick, he's cool and all, but the whole like taking all day to do, like, I don't like people who start stuff and then leave when everybody get shot up.
Damn.
Like, I don't like that. Stay here, bro. Don't start beefing issues and then roll out. And then come, like, and then when everybody's like struggling, say then you come back and you stomp the dude out. Like, nah, dog, that don't make you tough. Nah, you gotta stay through the whole battle, bro. So what my thing is like, I think it's gonna be Drake because Drake is gonna consistently like whatever he's ready for whatever, right? And then the person that is gonna help the most, I think that if Kendrick comes back with the fire, I think it'll help him most because then it'll show that he don't just start beef and leave. Yeah, he comes back and like finishes it. Because, like, he started the Control thing. I don't think he ever finished it.
Nope.
So, in my mind, I'm like, yo, you're starting a trend or a habit of starting stuff and not finishing it. So, if he finishes this beef, and I don't even know if he has to actually win. If he finishes it, I think it'd do more for him in his accolades of saying, hey, saying he's battle tested.
Yeah. What's your point? What's your thoughts, 21 Keys?
I think because of the times that we're living in right now, I think Drake is going to come out on top. Even if Kendrick do drop something hard, Drake is still going to come out on top because of, I think Kendrick took too long to respond. Because of that, Drake is going to come out on top. On top of the metrics as well.
Yeah. Scope.
Just imagine Drake performing that live on stage in a concert, bro.
Yeah.
It's gonna go crazy.
It's
That's
definitely.
true. Scope.
Yeah, I think this is definitely gonna help Kendrick just put his toes back in the game. Hopefully he continues doing features for people because I definitely think that brings a lot of good stuff from an artist when he collaborates with other artists and get different sounds. As far as Drake, man, if this man never drops another song and hangs it up, he's going to be good for the rest of the time. He's his Vegas residency, his road shows that he's going to do until he's 80, like Sinatra. He's good, bro. He doesn't have anything else in the game to do. All this stuff right here is just free game. He's doing side
He
missions at this
bored.
point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
Not the side mission.
Only
is
thing
bored at
missing
this
from
point.
Drake's career right now is a protege. He needs a handcrafted protege,
Mm.
Yep.
just like Wayne had. Cause look at
Yep.
Wayne's legacy. Look at Wayne's coaching tree. Nicki and
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Drake,
Yep.
yeah.
right? So if Drake, and I'm not talking about one of these fucking backpack SoundCloud rapping ass dudes. I'm talking about go back to Toronto and find a
Find some
tour.
good talent.
Yeah, find a
Yeah.
weekend and under the wing. And to get
Hmm.
somebody under the wing
I
like
like that.
that, you have to groom them and
Mm.
nope, don't Diddy. You have to groom them and make them
No Diddy.
comfortable to grow with you. Because a lot of
Yeah. Well,
artists has been fumbled, bro. Look,
but I think the problem there is that if you think about it, like all he's doing, it's a little bit of greed, right? Like he's on top and doesn't want to go out, but like anybody that's new, he's just taking their style and running with it. So
like
you
Walmart.
know,
He's Walmart
when
these
does
dudes.
he's the Walmart, right?
So
So
so so I agree with Scope. I think Drake at this point, Drake needs to be finding artists and really making an OVO like a turning the OVO into like a Rock Nation
Yep.
or a Live Nation type of thing, right? I mean, because I've been to Toronto a couple of times, and there's a lot of talented dudes out there, a lot of them. Now they might not be hip hop based, they might be soca, calypso, they might be reggae. You know what I mean?
Hey, let's go.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I think Drake's next venture, other than his beef shit, should be finding new talent and groom and like he's no a pause. I'm not with a no Diddy shit. Pause, like grooming them to be good artists.
Yeah. Because that's kind of what they're doing anyway with the A&R, but they just taking the songs. Like I heard that if he does a feature, he's taking the publishing.
Yeah, he takes the whole publishing. He take all the
Yeah,
points.
that's what I heard too.
Yeah, all the point,
Yeah.
which makes sense. It's like selling your soul, really, because like that. What was that song with for the Memphis guy, the Black Boy JB? That's
he
right.
took the whole publishing.
Yeah, the whole publishing, but you trading it. It's like a short term loan because it's like you're hot now. You can go make your money now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm making you popping right now. You can go do a show by yourself. It's only gonna be a 2 minute show, but you go get a bag right now, and I got the publishing. Look it up. Look it
Yeah.
up. That's why they call it
Okay.
the sweatshop.
Wow. I guess before we continue,
Oh, before I gotta leave, but before I do leave, I want to leave MVP with this question. Cause I think you're the closest to college age out of all of us. Um, who owns the publishing for swag surfing? I sure hope those guys own it because it gets a lot of play, a lot of
oh, just
burn.
random facts.
You sure they wasn't in a 360?
I hope not. I'm
I
thinking they
hope
might
not.
have been because there's a lot of time that's gone by, and I probably would have been tempted to sell my publishing on that song, and it's still going.
2009, bro.
Shit.
That's crazy.
When that song
Swag
come on
surfing.
today, it rings off the same way, bro.
It do.
Same way.
Same way, bro.
Same way.
It's crazy.
But
Don't.
I think it just went platinum, but I'm a little concerned about
Get
the
outta
platinum
here.
status because how did Jump Off just go platinum? Joe Buttons just went platinum on Pump It Up.
You also gotta keep in mind, right? Joe Budden's Joe Budden's new position as a podcaster is now his fan his fans now trying to be like, oh, this guy used to really rap for real. And now they're
Yeah.
going back and they're listening to his discography, and they're like,
Oh,
oh,
Mm-hmm.
this guy was
But
really nice. So when he says certain
it's
things on his
wild to think
podcast,
now, though.
huh?
Yeah. It's wild to think now just because that song was annoying. to the
Yo,
point
bro.
like we all heard it to the point where we heard it so much that it was annoying.
Yeah.
Right. Listen,
Right.
it's just like Noriega, bro. Noriega, as a podcaster, these new fans don't know him as a rapper. They know him as a podcaster.
Yeah, that's true.
So they go back and listen to his music, and his music is getting burned.
Because it like what gives you the right to give me advice or something,
The
but
authority.
or authority. But Joe Buttons is the perfect person because he was the last person to get like a basic ass deal in the music industry. Just regular schmegular. You're nice. We found you. Now we're making you an artist on the biggest rap label in the world, and so he could tell you all the pain and struggle he went through, right?
Yo,
But
bro,
That's a good point.
listen,
this
Joe Buttons got a song called "Whatever It Takes." It's a 10-minute song, bro. No hook.
just give me 10 minutes.
No. It's not. No, it's called "Whatever It Takes." The song is
Okay.
about almost 10 minutes long, bro. That song is fire. Fire.
Yeah. And
Well,
Joe Budden's mood music.
I know.
I mean, mood musics were all dope. That was when we were at that place, bro. I remember us listening to them things, bro. It was ridiculous. We can keep going on, and we're going to need to do more of these, clearly, as we have been going on for a long time amid technical issues and everything. We appreciate you for checking this out. This is, I guess, really episode 1, but not really, because we've been, as I said, this has been mini conversations that we had multiple times. So we're going to definitely do more of these. Shout out to 21 Keys, to Scope, to Live, who fell off, MVP. I'm K Styles. We'll see y'all on the next one.
Peace.
Peace.